Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network.
Yeah, we're back with architect, author, pro tennis player, John Riggio, freshly off his honeymoon. How are you? How's Cherry? How's life going? You have a lot going on.
Yes, hi Jill. How are you? Everything is good here. I'm okay. Cherry is great, and yeah, we just returned from Hawaii. One thing that was really good about the honeymoon in Hawaii is that Hawaii has some meeting with my tennis playing from years ago because the sponsor from Japan, they have contacts there in Hawaii, and I had met them there once before in the past to sign autographs and to meet some people they had there for me. So that was one good thing about it. Otherwise, it was an excellent vacation. I have some quick pictures of the vacation just to show you. I have them on Facebook. And let me just share that right now. Okay, so this here is on Facebook, and this is just some pictures of our honeymoon going through. It was very nice. We did the tour where we went to a few different islands. And so they kept us very busy from day to day, getting on the tour bus, taking the airplane from one island to the other.
And which islands did you get to go to? I've never been to Hawaii, so this is where just curious. You land in the main island, and then you went where?
We went to Oahu, was the main island with the Waikiki beachfront, and then also that is in the area of Honolulu. Then from there we went over to the Big Island. Then we went over to Maui. Then back over to Oahu again. So really just in 3 islands. That's the main island. And but to get there over the time frame we went for, it was like about a 7 to 8 day trip. And we have to take the airplane back and forth to each island. But so it was very good. We kept very busy, and it was a very nice tour. This was a different idea from when I had originally went to Hawaii, and things look very nice. We were back on the same beach as years ago, and just some pictures here. This also was a new location for me. We went to their Polynesian Cultural Center, which has really grown really big in a few years, and there was a lot of things to do there, which was a lot of fun. They showed us some very nice shows. We went to like a luau show, went to the show here at the Polynesian Center. It was very good. And excellent week for weather. The weather was very clear. Only on the Big Island, when we went over to some volcanoes, was a little rain and drizzle. Otherwise, very lucky. The weather was very nice. So I had an excellent vacation trip. Then while I was there, I started to really get into local things with the luau. I got into some nice clothes they had there. And this was the usual beach. This is the same area which I was there years ago when I was younger. And this is some new things I had built in the meantime. So this was a really good vacation and very nice honeymoon. And this was just some quick pictures of the honeymoon here. Just going through here. I think this is, they have all kinds of fun things they put together. This time they even have this little canoe ride. I know it was really amazing. And so that was that there. Let me see if I can. Let me just close this for 1 second now. Oh, okay, that's why I stopped the share. Okay, great.
Aww.
Then let me see from these pictures. Let me see if there's any other good pictures in the albums here. Let me just take a quick look at this. Yes, this is another very nice set of pictures. Let me just open this up. This has hopefully 6 pictures in it. Okay, so let me just share this real quick. Just go to it in 2 seconds. Okay, so this here, so just to go through the vacation, it was a very nice trip. We even get to play some tennis. They did have tennis courts. Of course, I brought my tennis rackets with me, and good. Don't know if I'm going to get to connect with any of the sponsors in Hawaii again, but it's a possibility. I could return to Hawaii again to play with them. I'd have to see if I can connect with them at some time in the future. And this was just some pictures going through here.
Oh, beautiful.
I was able to slim up this summer compared to last year, and got my weight down to 180, so it's not too bad. So this is just some quick pictures. Very nice trip. This is the luau. This is a really nice thing they have.
Oh my God, that is beautiful.
Yeah, I was just adjacent to the hotel. They had this really nice show for us, and just saw that there. And did the usual tours. The tour guide brought us to all of the best tourist attractions. Some attractions are found on our own, like the glass bottom boat. And this is here is the tennis. It was very nice, 90-degree weather. Was able to get out there, play some tennis. And this is just on the boat. This is over here. This set has a whole variety of things, and this is the tennis courts, and this is just a picture there standing by the tennis courts. And this is part of the tour that was just showing us some historical buildings and locations, giving us a whole rundown of the islands. It was really very nice.
Oh
And
my gosh.
yes, so I think some of these things about going to Hawaii are in my book. I have my book here, My Own Court, The Life Story of Tennis Legend John Riggio. And this shows the original trip to Hawaii, shows all the different reasons why I was there. And
Mm-hmm.
very nice book. It shows, you can read different stories about tennis and also about my professional career that has always gone along with my tennis. And I've also worked pretty good with that. So I think also today, I think with tennis, there's so many stories that I can't believe, and they're outrageous stories too. There's some of them a little difficult to talk about. But one story that was going on, and of course, this has to do with playing tennis. You're in the world of entertainment. You're meeting a lot of entertainers. And this is sort of from a player's point of view. I think some of the things we talked about now, I didn't really have to experience personally, but for some reason, they were around me. I think in last week's, I talked about some serious things with security and people, my sponsors needing people to guard them and things like that. But this was another thing that happened. One of them was very strange. Is my girlfriends, whenever I made friends with these entertainers, some of them were serious girlfriends, some were just like more like friends that I knew. They used to have the strangest thing of inviting them back then to something called the Playboy Club.
Mm-hmm.
I have no idea why this was happening. And this is going back even to the days with Delilah. Delilah was telling me the same story. I think with her, she was very smart. She knew how to talk. And so when she was talking about her going there, a lot of it had to do with her getting back by her father. Her father was always helping her
Mm-hmm.
and telling her what to do with adult entertainment. So when she went to the Playboy Club, it wasn't a big deal to me. But I think as the experience went on, I made some new friends. I think one of them was Elizabeth. So Elizabeth, who had all kinds of stories about her that I had said in the previous podcast. One of them during our relationship, and we were pretty serious going out, that she, in fact, was brought to the Playboy Club all the way back in 1998 and 1989. This is 1989, so I'm around
Wow. Mm-hmm.
19, 20 years old, and she's a little younger. Back then, when she told me about it, I was very active with my lawyers, my sponsors. So when she told me about this, at first I researched it. I talked to her friend Mimi, and Mimi's opinion was her going to the Playboy Club, that they were doing something that was insubordination with their group,
Mm-hmm.
females, their entertainers, which was pretty serious. So
Yeah.
that she told me that this was insubordination, I got the idea that they were doing this because I knew her. So I called around to different people. I called my lawyer, I called my sponsors, and they took it pretty serious. They didn't think it was a joke. I don't really remember if they had any idea what to do about it, do anything to them, but it was another concern. I think with Elizabeth, her case, it ended up as a nice gesture. It went all the way to the United Nations with my case years later. And so these kind of things might have been forward all the way to the UN. But then particularly pointing out having, say, my girlfriend or just a girl interest that I know and have her go to the Playboy Club. And for some reason, that was some kind of big thing. I don't know what the problem was, what they were trying to get at. I think there were some more experiences with this
Yeah.
addiction over the years. It wasn't just a one-time thing. One of them was with a friend I made. Well, let me go to the first one first. I think with the Playboy Club, them inviting entertainers to go there and deciding what entertainer wants to go to the Playboy Club first and which one does it is a different game too. Now I'm a player. I'm really just their boyfriend. It doesn't bother me, but I was sort of concerned about them. Concerned that they were really trying to do harm to them, trying to cause some strange problem. I don't know if they're trying to prove a point of some kind that they could bring her to the Playboy Club. I have no idea what the idea was all about. But I think like even if you send a school teacher to the Playboy Club, and they usually gave them a gift. So if they gave them like a nice little bag or other kinds of keychain or something, and it said Playboy on it. So I think in different areas of the everyday life that I usually walk in, if a female has something that says Playboy on it back in like years ago, they might not think nice things, unfortunately.
I agree. Yep.
So if someone is walking on the street in New York City and has a keychain that says Playboy on it, and someone starts to make fun of them, calling them a prostitute, they gotta have like a nervous breakdown. So just from my experience, what I witnessed is that started to happen. You know, you take like the keychain and they just throw it into like garbage, saying some kind of son of a bitch, something there. And it wasn't too funny. So from my experiences, what I saw personally, the idea of bringing them to the Playboy Club, and even if they're not professional entertainers that can handle this kind of thing, it did not go over very well.
Mhm.
So that was one thing, and then years later, I had another friend who was telling me the story that she was going to the Playboy Club all of a sudden, and when she was there, for some reason, they had her meet John McEnroe, which was
Okay.
a player in New York City from years ago. And the reason I knew him also because he was connected with my sponsor at the pro shop, was supporting him. And for some reason, they were putting them together. I don't know if someone was coordinating some kind of crazy problem with me. I have no idea what the idea was. But this did return back to me that she didn't meet him
Yeah.
at the Playboy Club. And it doesn't make any sense. I thought someone was trying to cause a serious
Mhm.
problem in some way, trying to prove a point that they could do this, put this together. And it isn't too funny. I don't know what they were getting at. This was after my playing years, too. So at this point, I didn't have too many phone calls to make. I didn't really call around and do anything about it. It was sort of the point was sort of over, but I had no idea what they're getting at if they're doing this to really continue to cause a problem for me. I think with particular John McEnroe, my sponsors had to put a police protection order on
Oh
him,
wow.
including my name, because this kind of thing with the green building people were sort of making a little annoying problem. They're just sort of
Mhm.
away. This happened years later, but that problem didn't even end there. I think it continued on. I think a few years ago, I was going out with this very nice female. We were going out in New York City in the public, and all of a sudden they sent her to Playboy, and her reaction to Playboy wasn't really the same. What happened with her was I don't know what psychological things is happening there,
Wow.
what they're getting at, what they're doing, but she started to go out with another female, dating another female. So I don't know what kind of psychological thing. It doesn't sound like whatever's happening there is helping all of this. It's very strange. So that was really a very interesting story, and I think that is really very strange.
Yeah. Wow.
I think with John McEnroe, I think not to really say bad things or spread problems, but I think there was some controversial things maybe they had him do or had him act over the years that I think I even once saw him get hit in the back of the head with a baseball bat and
Mm-hmm.
fall down on the floor.
Wow.
So things like that were pretty serious over the years. It wasn't really too funny. It was pretty serious. And I get the idea of someone coordinating this kind of
Yeah.
thing of taking my girlfriend, who like in the entertainment world, like I was explaining, when they brought her to get this gift to go to Playboy, they have sort of like an organization of different females that would probably want to experience that first. And
Mm-hmm.
so doing this sort of made it like what I had said, they thought of this idea was really insubordination. And by doing that, sort of pointing out that they were really doing it because I was around these people.
Yeah.
And that is one strange and sad story. I don't know what the story is, what they were getting at, and it isn't too good. It's sort of a strange story. I think the story with my friend who had a different type of thing where now she's going out with a female isn't too good. As far as
Yeah.
her psychology would say, like the Playboy keychain or anything, that did not bother her. I think if you're not really, it depends on what group of people you're really around when you're walking on the sidewalk, going to work, things like that, of how people would think about something like that. They're going to make fun of you. It's going to cause you a big problem, give you a nervous breakdown. It's
Yeah.
serious. And this was really a very interesting story about this thing with the Playboy Club and somehow them going after my particular girlfriends. So it was really very interesting. I think remembering years ago when this thing came up and I started to research about it with Elizabeth, I remember Elizabeth getting very emotional over it because I gave her some generics. So, and she was getting very emotional over it, not knowing what to think about it. And because she wasn't really sure if this was supposed to help her, if this was supposed to
Mm-hmm.
harm her. And she gave me an idea of what was happening there. And not really too sure if they were trying to do her harm or
Ah.
just
Yeah.
trying to do something exciting with her. That was really very interesting. So I think this thing with particularly this club bothering girlfriends around me, I don't know what to make of it. I don't know. I had called my sponsors years ago. I don't know if they ever really had someone research or investigate this. I don't know if it went to like law enforcement of them trying to particularly do things around me
Yeah.
because when I talked to other females, other friends of these particular people, they did not attend this event with Playboy. Only the females that I knew were invited to go to Playboy. And this gave them different types of feelings, different types of reactions. And that's why I was wondering what the story is of. I think at first I explained my coach years ago had me go to Court 33 and play with the Green Building players in particular because that was part of a coach
Mm-hmm.
experiment to try to see if they could clean up the place a little, correct any problems. But I was wondering also by picking up those problems around me, um, that this was a continuation of the same kind of problems that were around the Green Building at the National Tennis Center in Flushing, New York City, in Queensboro. So that location where they have the U.S. Open every year had those problems years ago with the Green Building, and I was wondering if there were forces behind that were really continuing this problem with the Playboy. I have no idea if that's what the truth is. Just to give you a hint, also what happened at Port 33 is my coach as experiment wanted me to play with the Green Building, and I think I went
Mm-hmm.
past expectations to have my own Port 33. And my coach, Anthony Cambria, was really impressed with that. The only problem with what happened, what he told me, is that when I was at Court 33, they put so much pressure on him, he had to make it where he didn't help me officially. He was threatened for them to fire him. They threatened his life too, to kill him.
Oh,
And
wow.
so he had to sort of say unofficially helping me at that point. So he didn't know how I stayed afloat there at court.
Mm-hmm.
And that's because I got on the phone and started calling people. I think one name I didn't talk about was my mother gave me a contact from one of our cousins. And in the store you buy Mott's apple juice.
Yeah, I love
One of our
that.
cousins is really that company, the Mott's apple juice. So I talked to Miss Mott's, and she was very nice. I called her a number of times. I used to talk to her about trying to get support for my tennis in Court 33. But this was the start of getting help also to stay there on Court 33 and
Yeah.
not let those people really overrun my court and take it. And I was successful that even though I wasn't on Court 33, they were able to build my own tennis centers. So this is another interesting story of how I was able to continue on. But what I think you could see from this story that those people, even as I'm dating a female, there's someone still getting in there trying to cause problems in the strangest way, trying to give them what they said like a gift and maybe trying to rape them. I don't know what they're really
Yeah.
didn't sound too good. And I think each female that went there had sort of like a different
Mm-hmm.
effect. I think starting with Delilah just did it like it was just an afternoon, didn't care. She can handle anything. Elizabeth was a little different reaction, and some of the other females had different kind of reactions of what had happened. Some I had just explained. But this was a pretty serious thing. And this is another thing. I did not put this in the book. It's a little extreme. It's a little adult. It's too adult really to put in the book. But it's good for a podcast. I mean, some people could listen to this and really start to maybe wonder if they were doing the same thing to them too. I don't know. I don't know if anyone has ever investigated this kind of story, but it is seems to have been going on in recent years. And it really is a interesting story. So I think one thing as far as tennis, I was talking about some celebrities. One of them was at the Sutton East in particular. Um, there was another celebrity. I had talked about Donnie Dokken, but there was another celebrity was David Lee Roth has
Okay.
stopped over there. I think a lot of people know him from the 1980s with
Mm-hmm.
a music singer.
I remember
And I think
him.
one thing about those two and myself is I was in another category, entertainment. I was really in a category entertainment with those music singers, which is really amazing. So what happened was because there were so many females coming to the tennis center, so many things, it was becoming like a robe house.
Yeah.
This so I think what happened in entertainment, all those fun things had to get covered with my contract, which is I didn't put it in the book. It's a little adult, but all those things had to get covered. So all the fun things that happened at the tennis center was completely covered by my contract. And but those were there's another category of entertainers that I had met. I explained the story. I played tennis with Don Dokken. He's another one in tennis that's no one knows about. He's an excellent tennis player. I noticed he also was amazing at 80 style tennis, and that was very interesting. So these are another little stories that are taking place and in tennis that I didn't talk about, but they are fun to talk about. And I think that type of situation put me in a better situation with, say, having some of my girlfriends like Delilah and Elizabeth that were involved with the entertainment world. And that's pretty much how we're working. So I think those are some interesting stories. I think today the story with the Playboy Club is pretty sad. It's a serious situation. I don't know if some people are looking at that as far as law enforcement. I didn't really talk to them in depth about anything about what they were doing was legal or it was part of something to try to kill the females, try to
Mm-hmm.
take them someplace, do something strange with them. I don't know. I know they gave them that gift that the gift they gave them was supposed to be worn publicly. I know this for some reason. Instead of it being a secret, it had to do something where someone sees you, and then you're taking your chances of someone insulting you, saying cruel things, making fun of you. And I saw the effects of that too. It wasn't too funny. If someone's there and they're not used to being insulted, called a prostitute in public, it makes their life go crazy. They go into like a nervous breakdown,
Yeah.
throwing their things in the garbage. It wasn't really too funny. So this thing with the Playboy Club, I have nothing to do with them. Never talked to them. I have no idea who they are. But this has been going on for a long time. That's why I was saying the story with getting close to the green building area sort of had leeches that still are working. They're still working, still causing little problems. I don't know what they're all about. It's really very strange.
Well, we got a lot in today. As always, I appreciate you being here, joining us. Wow, lots of information, lots of beautiful times. What's next? I got to ask for the lovebirds and the couple. So honeymoon's over. What do we have next happening?
Everything is great. We're doing wonderful. Sure, there's all kinds of fun things. Sure, I'll show pictures and all kinds of stories in the coming, weeks and everything.
Perfect.
There's an amazing amount of stories with tennis. I think you can see by now it's years later and there's new names and stories taking place. It was really unbelievable what was going on in a short time. And some of them are continuing on to just a few recent events. I mean, these things are still continuing on, unfortunately. That was really the sad thing.
Oh, well, thank you.
Some bad things are continuing on. Good things are excellent. I'm still trying to research, contact some players from years ago, and still trying to improve. And things are working pretty good.
All right. Well, thank you. You have a fantastic day. John Riggio, pick up a copy of the book. Look him up. Google his name. Find him on Facebook on his pro tennis page. And you have a fantastic day. Thank you for joining us as always. And we'll see you right back here next time. Thank you.
Thank you. Welcome by. Hello. My name is John Riggio. I'm the CEO of John Riggio, RA Architect, LLC. I provide architect services in the New York City metropolitan area. That includes New York City, New Jersey, and Pennsylvania. My areas are specifically Long Island, the 5 boroughs of New York City, Westchester, Yonkers. In New Jersey, it is North Jersey, Central Jersey, and South Jersey. In Philadelphia, the areas of the Philadelphia metropolitan area. You can find out more information about my company at www.johnriggio.com. That's spelled JOHNRIGGIO.com. And there you will find out a description of my work. It shows a portfolio, pictures of the different job types. And I also have my contact information there. It shows my business address. From there, you can contact me and we can discuss your project. First, we will make an initial consultation. And then from there, we will then go over designing your project and then constructing your project. So I hope to hear from you soon. Thank you. Bye.
Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network.
So you see, son, good manners are very, very important. Someday, many years from now, when you're a grown-up, you'll be a man. And when you are, you should be a gentleman. Do you want me to go through it one more time?
Yes.
Yes, please.
Yes, please.
Exactly. Always say please, thank you, you're welcome, and excuse me. Sit up straight, hold doors open for ladies. If a door's shut, then knock first. Don't burp, don't swear, don't speak with your mouth full, don't reach across people's plates, keep your elbows off the table.
What table?
And don't interrupt. While we're at it, don't stare, don't use foul language, don't call people names, but do remember people's names. Always share your toys, play nice, and cover your mouth when you cough or sneeze. On the bus, give up your seat to anyone who has trouble standing. Bottom line, treat others the way you'd like to be treated. Got it?
Got it.
And stop picking your nose.
Most parenting is hard to do in just 2 minutes.
but spending just 2 minutes twice a day making sure they brush their teeth is easier and could help save them from a lifetime of tooth pain. For fun 2-minute videos to watch while brushing, visit 2min2x.org. That's 2min2x.org. A message from the Partnership for Healthy Mouths, Healthy Lives and the Ad Council.